The timing of this is very funny because the day before I was saying how bad this WrestleMania build has been. It's been really kind of lackluster to me.
Great article too,
And
my friend.
thank you. So I also was saying that The Rock was a part of why the build last year was so great.
Maybe he read your article.
And so I had tweeted that, and maybe like a few minutes later, the announcement was made that The Rock will be on SmackDown. And I said, okay, this could be something interesting. I still, the entire time, looking at this announcement and kind of reading the room, I was like, I don't think he's wrestling, guys. I don't think that this is to set up the Cody match because
Nope.
we already have an Elimination Chamber match. I don't think
Mhm.
that this is going to be how he announces his WrestleMania match. And Roman has been nowhere to be seen since Royal Rumble. So I don't think that's how we get to Rock versus Roman. So I was very curious to see what this segment was actually going to be. Starting off, the way that I cackled with him coming out. And, well, first of all, even before that, they hyped this thing up to the 9, all the way up to SmackDown. Talked about it the second SmackDown started. Hey, Cody, you're not in this 6-man because Final Boss says you're not in it. So you're already hyping this, talking about this guy a lot. Then he comes out, has his big entrance. His music starts, and then out of nowhere, we get Wayne. The block is hot. In New Orleans, the block is hot in the middle of it, and then it's like it had a little melody.
Hold on, you guys. Wait. I haven't seen the segment in full. I'm experiencing it listening to Phil Lindsay.
So you didn't see this part when he came out to Block is Hot?
No, I did not.
Bro.
Hold on. What?
Bro came out to his music. Block is Hot comes on. Then it cuts back to his music. Walks down to the ring, and he gives the usual spiel. Finally, the final boss is back in New Orleans, and then he says, "Finally, WrestleMania is coming back to New Orleans, even though it's been here. It's been here twice in the last decade." But semantics. So he says that, gives the announcement. Officially, WrestleMania is coming to New Orleans, and when they announced that, they gave pyro just for the announcement. So he's standing in a ring with his arms spread, and they have the WrestleMania graphics on the screen, and all the pyro going off. I was like, "Yo, this company is hilarious."
What is arms spread?
Everything is so funny. Everything is so overproduced. Everything is like it has to be like this big deal. And so then he gets into the meat of this segment. Calls Cody out to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Cody comes out, and he's giving a spiel of, "Look, man, last time I saw you, we were friendly. I don't know if you guys have realized." We're friends now. I hung out with his mother. My mom knows his mom. He put a picture on the screen of their two moms together. He's telling the story about them sharing Terramana and all the rest of this stuff. He's like, we're friends now. And so I will give The Rock this, even though he rambled quite a bit in this thing. He's very good at pivoting. He's very good at seeing the reaction to something and going, hey, we got to change this. Because I think he realized that people were disappointed that he wasn't going to be a part of this WrestleMania build. I think he realized once he pulled out and there was not going to be a match that people wanted to see him. So he wants to give people something. His last appearances on Raw, on Netflix, I think he shut this down so hard by not being in character. He tried to make a point several times during this segment to be in character, to give people what they wanted. But it's still very apparent that he's not wrestling. And if you didn't read this from this, I don't know how you didn't. But so he's going on, and he's like, Cody, I want you to be my champion. And the whole time, Cody's looking around confused, and he's rambling like, you're this, you're that. You have this amount of Instagram followers. You are a great champion, but I want you to be my champion. And so by the end of this segment, Cody is confused. He's like, so wait, you want my belt? You want to challenge me? He's like, oh, no. I just want your soul.
Yeah.
And that's where we are.
Like, why would he? What?
This was a very bizarre segment. This felt like him trying to talk around the fact that he doesn't plan on wrestling.
Yes.
But also,
this all could have been an email, Phil. I heard that this segment clocked in at 27 minutes, and We don't need to hear The Rock rambling for 27 minutes that he's not going to be at WrestleMania.
This went on way too long. This could have been edited down and made more succinct. This wasn't nearly as interesting as a lot of his promos when he came back last year because there was a point, there was a story in place. This very much felt like he was trying to, again, please people, give people something they wanted, but he was repeating himself a lot. It felt like he was rambling a lot. And the whole time I was just like, get to the point, because this thing was hyped for so long. I was like, okay, what does any of this mean? And by the end of it, we still didn't get any of this. I mean, to get a talking promo to promote another talking promo is wild. To go, hey, man, I don't want your answer right now. Give me your answer next week at Elimination Chamber at Toronto. And I'm just like, well, no, you hyped this thing up like this was going to be a big deal, you showing up. No, we want to know what this means. And, you know, definitively, I think it means that he's not wrestling. And again, if people don't think that, I don't know what promo you watched. And if you need any more proof of that, if you watched his press conference, which is also funny, he gave a press conference after this for a segment where nothing was announced. So it would be different if this segment officially announced that he was going to be on the card for WrestleMania and he answered questions afterwards about the match.
Yes.
There was nothing to really answer questions about because there was no announcement other than the announcement that WrestleMania will be in NOLA next year. So he answered some questions. The funniest thing I thought about it was his response on why he used Hot Boys, because he was like, no, I've been a fan of Wayne. I've been a fan of rappers from New Orleans. I'm a fan of all the OGs. I'm from Miami, so I'm a Luke guy. Rock saying he's a Luke guy is hilarious.
He is from Miami.
But also saying, like, you know, I was a fan of all the OGs. Master P, Wayne, Cash Money, 504 Boys. I was like, okay. So all of that was interesting. Even some of the questions about the decision to come back to New Orleans. The Rock is the real deal, man. He's a star. And I think when you get him in a room and you just let him talk or answer some questions, you see it. He's polished. He's media trained. You can see it. He's incredibly entertaining. You could watch this guy answer questions about the phone book. And because he's just a charismatic guy, it's going to be entertaining. But it was a whole bunch of nothing. There was a whole bunch of hype and a whole bunch of conversations to promote nothing. And so there was a report at one point, I believe it was Meltzer. And Meltzer reported that he being The Rock, was upset that the news leaked that he was not going to be wrestling at WrestleMania this year. And because of that, he wouldn't be surprised if The Rock changed his mind and tried to wrestle anyway, just to stick it to people that leaked it. And that's very much what this felt like. This very much felt like, hey, I'm not still wrestling, but I want to give you guys something because the cat's out of the bag that I'm not wrestling. But at the same time, he's saying in so many words, I'm not wrestling. Even in a press conference, he says the great thing about the Final Boss character and what he's doing with Cody currently is it doesn't have to lead to a match. which I think is the most telling thing ever. And this is the bloodline stuff in a nutshell. No, the end goal is not a match. And not just that, WWE's been telling us for the longest, no, all of this drama stuff is cool. The wrestling is secondary. And so when he was doing all this, I was like, okay, there's no match.
Why? What are you doing here?
Yeah. So what does this mean?
I think we need to start having distinguishing who's about to show up. We're going to need to start having, all right, tonight, The Rock's going to show up, and he's ready for action. He's going to be part of the bloodline. He's going to fight Cody. He's going to blah, blah, blah. Or, alternatively, tonight, Dwayne Johnson, TKO board member, is going to show up and talk about how great everything is. This felt like, you know who wanted to make this announcement, but he was like, you know what? Let's get Dwayne in here to make the announcement. Then they won't say that I'm always taking credit for everything. We'll let Dwayne do it. Everything will be cool. Don't they usually just announce WrestleMania the day of WrestleMania? Like they're like, all right, next year we're going to be here, and then we do it. Or they announce it at WrestleMania.
And there was a distinct difference here. On the Netflix debut when he showed up, this felt more like Dwayne Johnson showing up.
Yes.
This what we got last night. This was The Rock. But in the press conference, it was back to him.
Back to Dwayne Johnson.
Back to Dwayne Johnson, the actor, the megastar, answering questions in a press conference. And again, having that right after this promo was very interesting. Because again, it drew it drew a very distinct line in this to tell me there is no match.
Yeah.
So again, what does this mean? Because the whole time I was sitting there like, this is a whole bunch of nothing. And so I had to actually re-watch this promo to get past my first reaction of this all feels kind of pointless. But they actually did something pretty smart with this. And I'll tell you why. I think Cody's been doing this great thing as champion. He's been telling this overarching story throughout his time as champion of he went on this chase for a long time to get back here, to get this moment of winning the championship. And along the way, he united people. He united all of the baby faces behind him heading into WrestleMania 40. At the end of the night, they were all standing around applauding him. Even his biggest rival since he came back, and Seth Rollins, helped him win. And his sacrifice was a big part of that. Since then, everything has changed. Because it's not like you're just a guy that's chasing and trying to knock Roman off the top of the hill. You're the champion now. And so you got to take all the responsibilities that come with the championship. You got to take all of the comers that are coming for you. You're wearing the number one headband now. So everybody's coming for you. Everybody's coming for your spot. And so for the past year, he's been slowly telling this story of a guy that wanted to rewrite his legacy, not just for himself, but his family, and what that means, what it means to be champion. And you can see the longer this goes on, he's done things that he didn't know he would have to do. And that was a big part of the Kevin Owens feud, of him getting his hands dirty and having to do something to someone that he thought was his friend. And even before that, they've been telling very interesting stories. So you get to the week before, the week of Royal Rumble, and CM Punk cutting the promo on him and telling him, like, this means something. You being champion, it means sleepless nights. It means there are going to be things that come with this that you have to do because that belt means something. And the second time I watched all of this, and The Rock was saying, no, you're a great champion, but I want you to be my champion. I want you to be our guy. This is the thing that Cody chased for his entire first tenure with the company. This is everything he wanted. He wanted the office to pick him.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the guy. And now he's in a situation where he's not the company's guy. He's the people's guy. He left and built himself up into something, and he came back, and the people pushed for him to win. It's not like, I mean, we know the story. They had to change the WrestleMania build last year because the people demanded, we want Cody. Yeah. And so now, with the people behind him, The Rock's like, no. I want you to be our guy. And so now he's in a bit of a conundrum because it's like, this is what I always wanted, but it feels wrong. This isn't what I thought it would be. Because we've seen everybody that has been the guy. Cena, Orton. And now Cody's in that spot where he could be the guy for the company. And not just that. It's the offer that The Rock was given when he won his first championship to be corporate champion. I think this is leading to, of course, Cody turning him down. Because of course he's going to turn him down. He can't turn heel now. I mean, and he can't turn heel in this way. The people are behind him. It would make no sense for him to do it. But I think this is leading to whoever wins the chamber, whoever's going to be his challenger, to be The Rock's guy. And if I'm a betting man, with everything that has been Not just done in story and on television, but everything said about him coming back there. It makes all the sense in the world for CM Punk to sell us all.
Mm. Oh,
That's
you connected some dots.
That's the story here. The guy that stopped him from main eventing WrestleMania when he was the people's guy, the guy that took his spot in the main event of WrestleMania, the guy that people are worried him coming back and being a part of this means he's not going to get his main event. No, he's going to call in his favor from Paul Heyman, and he's going to side with that guy because everybody has been saying anyway, going back to WWE has been selling his soul. Why not just play into that and make that's the story?
My question is, why did they use The Rock to do this, though? I mean, because, like, he's not going to be here.
Well, because, again, The Rock wants to give the fans something. Because I think this is what it was. I think that he felt like, all right, it's the same thing as last year. He feels like, all right, the fans don't like this. I thought I was giving the fans something good. They've been asking for Roman versus The Rock all this time, but they don't want that. They want Cody to finish the story. So I'll take this one on the chin. I'll turn heel, and we'll give Cody his moment. And I think it's the same thing here. I think he's looking around like, oh, I'm not going to come back to wrestle, but how can I be a part of giving people a story? But yeah, I feel like that's the story here. It's it's so fitting for what Punk has done since he's come back. Him coming back and saying he's home and everything. It just feels wrong. Corporate Punk is the way to go. I hate everything about it, but we're supposed to hate it. Punk showing up in suits and everything, it just feels wrong. Showing up in $2,000 shoes and everything. This is not Punk. And so him being the guy that's like, no. Cody doesn't want that spot. I'll take that spot.
And then it's going to lead to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
I would think so. I think that there's a good chance that this could be the way you get Cena, Cody as well. But I don't think that story is nearly as compelling as Punk being the guy that sells his soul to The Rock.
And they're not going to do any heel Cena bits at all.
Yeah, I think it's too late in the game at this point. And his farewell tour, I don't think people want to boo him. I don't think that's the route you could go. You can do that, and it could be interesting, but I think the Punk way is way more interesting, and it just plays further into my agenda because they've been saying all this time, triple threat match. No. Roman versus Rollins is the match. I don't know how many more times I have to say it. It's the match.
A bunch.
Just do it.
I don't know why they're not just doing it though. They keep this triple threat shit is not really the way. Do this one-on-one because you're never gonna get the damn opportunity to again in this perfect story told. Dwayne, it was hilarious in the whole bit, just like the build up, him going out there playing two characters, essentially inserting himself. It's classic The Rock, but like shorten. I mean, do we need 30 minutes of this in the middle of a wrestling show?
We didn't need that, and the fact that this is a 3-hour show and you still are doing things like cutting the women's match and doing things like that, I don't think that's great. But you know, when The Rock shows up, he's gonna go over time. He's gonna go out there and hot dog this. He's gonna come out and sing for the crowd and do all the rest of the stuff. But if this is the story, and this is leading us to Cody versus Punk, I'm on board. Because I don't think they've done anything with this WrestleMania build that is as interesting as that.
Right.